Good afternoon, everybody. Been a while since I've posted anything. I'm sorry. Probably sheer laziness, but you know. So we've got a yeah, it's been a while to post anything. Sorry about that. So I'm probably going to post this. You'll know because it'll be posted. So I thought I'd go for a little blast today. Very overcast, but it's humid at the moment. So I was in a car earlier and it said like 20-21 degrees. So it's probably cooled down a little bit since I got back and got my gear on. But 19-20 degrees. It's a little bit windy. So I am going to be headed out and see if I can remember the route that I took the last time. Which is out towards Gloucestershire, then turn right towards, can't remember if it was Headling or something like that, and then off to Stroud on the A46. So I'm going to be looking at doing that track if I can, because it's a nice little run, and hopefully I'll get a chance to post this as well. Hopefully, he says. Hopefully I'll get a chance to record enough of it. I think the last time I was out, it didn't record properly. Well, it recorded, but it stopped because my recording time is nowhere near what I thought it would be, or what it should be, should I say. So I've had to remember that I can only record for about an hour or so, and normally when I'm out for a couple of hours. So fingers crossed. We will get a decent amount of recording for you guys. I don't normally do recordings and post them. I normally do a recording of something in particular and post it. I'm always recording when I'm out on a bike, because you never know. The whole point of me having head cam was some idiot pulls out in front of me or cuts me up, or you know, whatever. I've got it on camera and it's going to help my insurance that it wasn't my fault. Obviously I wasn't recording if it was my fault, but you know. So yeah, what I'm going to do today is probably start every time I go out try and think of saying something worthwhile. Just stick on YouTube. What have we done to the bike as of lately? Riding the Dusaki, should I say? Half Kawasaki, half Ducati. I've got a clue which lane is best. middle of them two, just in case. Yeah, so I'm riding the Dusaki, which is a ZX6R on 2000 plate with a Ducati 916 rear swing arm wheel brakes disc, and also rear twin pipes that come up under the seat. That then also includes having a 2005 tailgate, tail fairing. Just needed, and custom rear foot pegs as well. Sort of rear foot peg mounts, should I say. What have we done? As of lately, I've changed the clutch casing over from my old engine because it was in better condition. Give it a really good clean up. I've also taken the clutch out of my old engine, which was less mileage, giving it a good clean and stuck it in. I've also then stuck in some new performance clutch springs, and I added a new clutch cable just to make sure everything works properly. On top of that, on the rear swing arm, I've re-added I've secured a decent slide for the caliper mount, which was a bit suspect on beforehand. And I've also added a new wavy disc and new rear pads, giving the caliper a good clean. Pop the pistons out as far as I can, give them a good clean around everything, make sure there's no gunk anywhere. Thank you for waiting, dude. As you can see, there's nothing behind me. So yeah, I tested it the other day and everything was seeming fine. Got to break in that rear disc, which is going to be a pain because I don't use the rear brake that much, so generally only in the wet or emergencies. So an emergency, I don't want to be using it because I'll be putting too much through a new disc. But apart from that, I think my front suspension shocks are slightly out, slightly twisted, barely noticeable twisted. But I sort of notice them every now and then, like, going around a bend or something. I just don't seem to be running true and straight enough, so I need to sort that out. Yeah, you just hang over the edge there, mate, unnecessarily. Never mind if these vehicles fit for the road, there's a road fit for my vehicle. So everything seems to be running smoothly now. I think I do need to do another carburetor balancing and tuning. I've done a mock one myself, just a quick one. But I think doing it again, plus I think the tappet's going to need doing as well on this engine. But they got better, well, it sounds a lot better since I've done the clutch, so hopefully they will feel better as well. Hopefully things will be better soon. But so far so good. I'm hoping the weather doesn't turn from this to a lot worse. I can't really see any rain as in coming down clouds. You know, we see the actual rain. You see the actual rain, don't you? This is really fine, obviously. I'm hoping I'll beat the weather today from a little blast out. We'll just put some fuel in, so I've zeroed the meter thing. So that's a good step so far. At least we know how far it is this time. Behind me, and why not? It's going to be, oh, it's 40 now. So that's the guy that passed me earlier. Bumpity. Still moving slightly. I need to tweak that a little bit and repair that crack. I've put these quick release bolts on my mirrors because I'm always bringing the bike in, and it saves having to undo the bolts just to bring the bike in, because I have to fold the mirrors in to get the bike into the front door. So I put these quick release bolts on there, which were working fine, just that the plastic around the edging of the quick release bolt has cracked, so I need to do it up a little bit tighter or replace the mount, which I think I've got some more of somewhere. I'm hoping I have anyway. If not, I'll have to make some. Hot cell. Few stoners pulling in there by mistake. A419 wasn't it, and an A46 on the Bristol Road or Bath Road. I can't remember which one it was now, but pull over in the car park. Nice little bit of shade there when it's hot out. So feel free, if I do post this, feel free to comment on what you suggest I talk about next. About the bike, about my air bike, the Honda Fury, or about any upcoming bikes. I am thinking of getting a supermoto, so I might talk about that at some point. I just fancy a change from the sports. I've got the chopper, got the sports, just, you know, fancy a little bit something different. Never had a supermoto before, so I thought, you know, why not? There's some nice ones out there, sort of supermoto types like the Dusaki Hypermotard, or the Aprilia Dusaki 1200, or the 750, or the 900. But I'm actually looking at the Dusaki 1200 because, as you probably all know, I like bikes that are different. I don't like to see the same bike pull up at the lights, or if you go out to a bike meet, you know, you don't want to see 10, 15 of the same bikes all lined up. The only thing that separates them is probably a bit of colour difference and the odd mod every now and then, brake levers and mirrors and that sort of thing. I prefer to have something different, hence the reasons why I got the Dusaki rear on this one. Not a lot of them out there, so it makes me different. Also the Honda Fury, I think I checked the database, which you can check, see how many vehicles are there of a certain type on the road, and I checked the Honda Fury, and I think there was 200 in the entire country, or thereabouts, which is pretty good going. The Aprilia Dusaki 1200, there's only 67, I think it was, in the country, so quite a rare bike again. So I do like my rare bikes, and I think 1200 V twin or something so small, because my chopper is a 1300 twin, V twin, so I think that a 1200 V twin, but with something that's probably half the weight of my chopper, should pack quite a punch. I know they're not like massively fast, but there is immense amount of torque, so fingers crossed I'll get one day. Not sure if I'll do it by selling this one or something, but there's still a lot I want to do to this if I can, but it's money and time and space end of the day. I can do little bits of bobs and stuff but in the house, but like I said, I want to strip it down to the frame and get the frame powder coated ideally, but it's not that simple with my place, so maybe for someone else to do if I do sell it, but I've got no plans to at the moment. I am enjoying it, as much as it gives me wrist ache and back ache sometimes, but at my age that's come to be expected. That's probably why a lot of people of my age get different bikes nowadays. It gets Taurus or like the Triumph Tigers, that sort of thing, because they're more upright. That's probably why I want a supermoto. It's probably a bit more upright, a bit more back pleasing. There's the speed along here. Now enough to say 40, but it's probably bloody not. This is a bus stop also, I would have thought it would have been 40. Bus pulling out, you're doing 16, you're bus pulling out, do you? And the fact I can't do it 40, give or take as well, so. Well, it should be in a roundabout up here somewhere, which is where I need to be turning right. Unless it was back there, then I'm screwed. Well, I went that far, so. people to overtake. And there definitely was a roundabout, not a junction. What I saw first, so. I've come this far before, but I do remember that garage. That's better down the gears as well with this new clutch. It's definitely not here, so it'll be the next roundabout. I need to turn right and head down towards Stroud. I'll basically head for 846. Map is going to pull out on me then. No, thank God for that. Probably one of the worst junctions in the world by the looks of it. Aha! I see it, a roundabout. Stroud. There we go, look. 8419. Snaring, man. Don't know what it beats for. Going that long yet, the battery should be out. Buggers and the bloody things. What now am I going? Straight on up now, tell me, do you wanna be forever? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Doris, nice 40 in it. So yeah, so I'm planning on doing too much this year now. We got the bike event coming up for the Santa's on a bike. That's in first week of December, I believe. So that'll be another cold one. Damn potholes. Wasn't this one, wasn't it? Yeah, so that's a pretty big one for this. For every year they have a summer one. It's not as big because this is a bit further, but got the Santa one. I wonder if Jess is going to come to the Santa one. I don't think she's missed one yet. friggin' sign? I don't think it's down that way. Sorry, I ain't talking much. Tend to forget what to say when you're actually enjoying the ride. But you know, that's why I always record anyway, so might as well thought, well, you know, put it on, might as well. I'm always recording. Someone might find it interesting. What can we talk about? Let's talk about the... Going down that way, was I? I think I am. Let's talk about the fact. So let's talk about if you want to just pass your test. There's bound to be people out there. Been on 125s. I did a 125 for about 4 years, 5 years. I think it was. I think it was 5 years, somewhere around there. I know it took me CBT twice, and on the third time, I decided to just stop that and spending too much time doing CBT. I'm going to do my full bike test because it's going to save me a fortune in the long run. So I did it for a fair few years. I got the bike because I was commuting due to work, and it was a ball ache. So I had to go from Bristol to Weston every day. Fuel was killing me. I had a V6 car at the time, and the fuel was killing me. So I thought, why not? Let's get an excuse to get a bike. So I got me 125, which was a Hyacin GT 125R. Lovely bike, nice and big. Gets you in the weight class of when you go up, when you pass your test. You're not going from a poxy little bike that pick up one hand to a big bike that if you drop it you're screwed unless you know what you're doing. So yeah, I had that for about 4 years, 5 years, somewhere around there. I had to do CBT 2 years, CBT twice 2 years. So I think it's 5 years because it was due to be running out soon. It might have even been 6 because I think it was, when I took mine it was due to run out the next day. And the next day I had my test on, and if I didn't do my test it would have been I'd have had to renew my CBT, as well as, because you can't do your mod 2 without a CBT anyway, so I had no lessons. I had enough time to get used to the bike, and that was it. That's all I wanted, to be honest, just get used to the clutch, brake, acceleration. The 650 I think they were using. So that's all I had basically, and lucky enough I passed because I've been riding a 125 for such a long time. I got used to all the roads and all that sort of stuff. So indication from a taxi there, isn't it? Obviously they're saving his use of his indicators so his car lasts longer, I expect. So yeah, it was so any of you out there that are thinking about getting a 125, I've got a 125, thinking about getting something bigger, then you can't go wrong with a 600. The only problem is the 600s are more expensive to insure, as anyone will tell you if you've already been checking. This is because 600s are more popular and more desirable. Which does suck, I'm afraid, sorry to say. So if you're thinking about getting a bigger bike, and 600s are everywhere, bear in mind your 125 has probably held its value if you've looked after it. 125s and 50s tend to hold their value quite easily because that's all you can have when you're 16, 17, so you tend to have no choice on what you can actually go out and buy, and there's obviously limited 125s and 50s compared to other vehicles out there. So you should get quite a good lump for your 125 or your 50. Hopefully you've gone with the geared and not just twist and goes, although twist and goes tend to be a bit more common nowadays for commuting. You can find obviously bigger than 125 twist and goes, but you might not want to do that. I guarantee once you get a bike, you're going to want something faster. It's always been the way from having a 50, you wanted a 125, get a 125. You even think a 250 would be good enough, or 400, but it's not worth it, trust me. You're better off just getting something that you think you can handle the most of, i.e. 600 or something. Purely because you'll just want something better eventually, and they don't hold their value as well, bigger bikes. So think ahead basically is all I can say. Not much different maintenance wise either, to be honest. An extra spark plug or two and that's about it really. So 125s, obviously tyres are probably more expensive and stuff like that, but things are a little bit more expensive due to the sheer size of it. But where am I going? I have no idea where I'm going now. I didn't check any signage. I'm going up that way. Actually, I'm going that way. Probably shouldn't have gone this way, should have gone that way, dumbass. Right, left here. Not 100% sure this is the right way, but it's in Bath and it's A46, so that's the way I'm going. So yeah, if you're thinking about getting a 600 or something a bit bigger, 125s to 600s is a massive leap in speed and all that sort of thing, but if you're confident enough to pass your bike test on a 600 or 650, whichever you take it on, yes, they're not going to be massively fast at bikes that you take your test on. You know, they're normally sixes and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, it's still a faster bike than a 125, and if you're confident enough to pass your test, then you should be confident enough to take your test on anything really. After that, so you should be able to ride anything you want to. So just think of what you want. I personally wouldn't go straight to 1,000, but if you've been riding long enough, know what you're doing, maybe you ride other bikes and your hobbies and stuff like that, like motocross and that sort of thing, you've been riding a long time, or maybe even used to something that big anyway, from potting around on a farm maybe, or you know, maybe you might even do some circuit racing maybe, so you're used to it. Fair enough, get it, you know, get something you want that's going to last you, that you're going to not go, oh I need something faster, or I need something better, because it's not going to make the money that you originally had that you bought it for, unless you're really lucky or you spent a lot of money on it in the first place. So try and get something you want to stick with. You know, brother's got he bought his first one was a Z750. He's got no plans on getting rid of it. He might get something different style, but he's not due to get anything because of the power. Basically, he wants to maybe change it up because of the style that he's got. He might want something a chopper wise, or you know. So end of the day, think ahead. What do I need? What would suit me down to the ground without having to go any further? Yeah, 1000cc does. I'd have 1000 now as well. I bought 600 because I bought this one, mainly because it was my first bike. The other thing you've got to think about is the insurance, how old you are. If you're 20, 21, 22, whatever the age is for a Mod 2 now, you probably can't get anything massively big because of the insurance, so you have to compromise. So I would then look at the 650s and the stuff like that, and the 750s and 700s, because they tend to be a lot cheaper insured. Even though some of them are bigger engines, they're generally not as fast because they're dialed in a little bit. And they're being a lot more comfortable and easy to insure, and probably cheaper as well to buy. But you know, you've got to think ahead and think what's best for you at the end of the day, and don't let anyone dictate to you what you can and can't have. It's entirely up to you. You want to skin yourself out and go all in with 1000, go get it. But like you said, it is going to be hard to insure. Parts are going to be a lot worse. You're probably going to lose your license, because I guarantee, I'm shocked, honestly shocked, I've not been stopped on this yet for speeding. I tend to be a bit more cautious than most. I will only speed where it's clear and open and there's a decent speed limit in the first place, and I can definitely see far enough ahead. It's not that there's a copper or a speed camera, but I've done it a few times. You know, you blip the throttle here and there, and you tend to, ooh, quick, I'm doing 70 and a 30 limit sort of thing, because you don't realise sometimes. And I'm shocked that I haven't been caught. Touch wood. Not yet. So it's worth thinking of that in mind as well. A lot of bikes out there nowadays, they say are licensed losers. Even the Aprilia Dusaki 1200, a lot of people have said in testing it, you're probably going to lose your license because you're probably going to spend the majority of the time on the back wheel, because it's a light bike with a very torquey engine. We will see. I'm at that age I don't need to go fast, mega fast. If I wanted to, I'd do some track days, but I don't think my bikes are up to track days, so I don't bother with them. Maybe one day, if I get the money, I might go out and buy a specific track bike. just for that reason. Get myself a cheap van to chuck it in and transport it, or a trailer. Probably a van, a bit more secure. Aylesworth, that's it. This is the way I came last time. How many miles have we done? 25.5 miles already. So yeah, if that's what you're thinking of doing, go for it. Simple rules, don't dictate. Try getting within your budget if you can. If you ain't budget yourself, it's only going to make it worse when you realise how much the parts are to replace things. Generally on an expensive bike, you've got expensive parts. So bear that in mind. And the 600, you can't go wrong. There's plenty of them out there. Plenty of parts out there. You can do a lot to them as well. You can get yourself full fairings, turn it into a Street Fighter if you want to, or vice versa. Probably cheaper the other way around than turn a full fairing into a Street Fighter, because fairings ain't cheap. Plus you can make a bit of money on flogging the fairings if you want to. My brother wanted me to turn this into a Street Fighter due to its design on the rear, but I do like the fairings, especially if you like going on the motorways and stuff like that. The fairing does really help with wind and stuff, you know. Sit there doing 80 mile an hour, no problem. Just got to crouch a little bit. You want to blip the throttle, then go ahead and blip the throttle, and you can just get ducked in behind that fairing. I think my front forks need oiling as well. Put some more oil in there. How's everyone going? There's a friggin' zebra crossing just after a roundabout. Stand next to a friggin' zebra crossing, mate. People are going to think you want to cross. So, that's my advice going forward for anyone that's passed a test and thinking about upgrading, or about to pass their test, or thinking of taking a test. If you're thinking of taking a test, bit of advice: don't panic. You fail, it's not the be or end all. You can take it again. Best way of doing it is to relax. Difficult, I know, it's a test. I'm the same. I hate tests, any sort of test. I absolutely hate, but it was something I wanted to do. That's the other thing as well. You're going to want to do it. Same as your car test. There's no point doing it just because you feel left out, or you know you can, so you do it. You got to do it because you want to do it. You got to do it because you want to drive your car, go everywhere. If you're not the sort of person that's going to pass their test and then spend the next month or so probably hitting their designated allotted limit of driving for their insurance, then you probably don't want to drive a car in the first place, so you probably weren't going to pass. You can have all the skill in the world in a day, if you're not got it in you, you're not going to get it in you, and you're going to do something wrong. You're going to be either too cocky or too relaxed. You just need to want it, deep breath, concentrate, and you'll be fine. And if you haven't, you know, CBTs are what they tell you they are. They're compulsory basic training. You know, you have to do it to be able to get onto the road, basically. But you know, if you fail a CBT, then yeah, you shouldn't be on the road. You're not confident enough yet, so keep practicing somewhere, keep taking lessons or whatever you need. But when it comes to your Mod 1 and Mod 2, it's a whole different matter. They know you can probably ride a bike, but there's riding a bike and there's riding a bike safely. And riding a bike and be able to control the power of a bike as well, because you know, some of these bikes are stupid brake horsepower for weight ratio stuff, and you know, you don't know what you're doing, you're going to kill yourself or maybe even someone else, because they are just, some of them are just monsters. You know, you got like 1290 Super G, KTM Super G 1290s. They are, from what I gather, I'd love to have one, but again, people say they are literal monsters. They're not very heavy, they're quite upright, but they got so much power and torque behind them that you will literally, you know, you will kill yourself if you're not used to a bike that big and power like that. So, you know, I want to get around this gate and getting so much wind turbulence off of him, it's unbelievable. So yeah, you know, you got to think of it in advance, think of what you're doing, think of what you want, think how it's going to benefit you, and it will benefit you. You've got to be happy with your decision as well, don't just settle for something. You need to know what you want and get it. You know, a lot of people who spend weeks, months looking for the right bike. You know, plenty of bikes out there they like, plenty of bikes out there they can afford, but they actually want a certain bike. And it could take months before that certain bike pops up anywhere. You know, they put it just a story for an instant. You know, it's a rare bike. Certainly if it pops up, I should grab it with both hands, because it ain't gonna go, but it's having the money at the time, so you got to think in advance. You know, I got two bikes, I'm lucky. So if I do wanted to sell one of them, I've got a second bike I can potter around on. Not everyone's got that luxury of having two bikes, so if it's your only form of transport, you're sort of like, you know, you're kind of screwed. You've either got to bus it for a while, or bum lifts off friends and stuff like that, or have a bike lined up, or you have to cop out and do what I hate doing, which is selling a bike to buy a bike, in the sense of you go to a garage and you buy the bike off of them, because you're so limited by buying a bike from a garage. If you're flogging your bike, you're going to lose money for a start on whatever you sell your bike for, because I can pretty much guarantee they're not going to give you what the bike's worth. They need to make money on it too, and they know what it's worth, so they're going to give you pennies for it. They're probably going to mark up the bike you're buying as well, so you're paying over the odds for the bike you're buying, so they win two ways. They get your bike cheap, they flog their bike dearly to you. I hate it. Sometimes it's the only option though. Sometimes, you know, if you've got a banger of a bike and they give you minimum of say 200 and 300 quid for it, then fair enough, you can get it to them, it's worth doing. But yeah, I bought my car I got now from a garage, but that was because that was the car I wanted and it just happened to be from a garage, and they had a good price for it and they gave me some money for my car at the time. So just bear it in mind, if you've already got a bike, you will get a lot more for it privately, but you'll probably have to wait for it until that right person comes along. You know, if you know your bike's worth £1,000 private, don't settle for less than £1,000. If you know it's worth £1,000 and someone offers you 900, maybe worth it, you never know. Especially if you've had it for sale for a while and you've had no bites. But just bear in mind, if you've got a bike to sell, you know it's worth £1,000 privately, but you've got a place in a garage somewhere that's flogging a bike that you want, and they want, you know, they got good money for it. Perhaps it's the perfect price, so you haven't seen them cheaper. It's from a garage, it's going to come with a like 3-month warranty or whatever, but they're going to give you 500 quid for yours. Yeah, is it really worth it? You could probably go out, flog yours for £1,000, that's an extra 500 quid you could spend on a warranty if you wanted to, and still be able to buy the bike. So, you know, don't settle for what's there. You know, people are desperate, I understand that, and you know, you might have to desperately find a bike because you need it for work or whatever. I would then suggest you compromise maybe, go out there and find yourself some piece of shit that runs half decent for 300 quid to get you to work and back until you can save the money to get the bike you do want, is probably what I would suggest. A bike's a bike in the day if it's a work related bike and it's just for going to work and back, a bike's a bike. But you spend 300 quid on something that's got an MOT in, you know, and you can afford to insure it, maybe a cheap 400 or a really cheap Bandit or something like that, 600 Bandit, it could be worth it still. It's 300 quid, it's got an MOT, bikes are generally easy to maintain. If you're not maintaining your own bike, I strongly suggest you have a look at getting some knowledge based help, because you can save yourself a fortune by doing your own stuff. Whether it be a service or a general repair, you can save yourself an absolute fortune. And so it's worth it, just learning a little bit, learn how to change oil, learn how to do spark plugs and air filter, changing your sprockets or your chains. It's it'll save you money, but something that can, you know, a full service would take you, I don't know, half decent novice, all the parts there, 3-4 hours of doing a full service. You know, probably 4 or 5 hours if you want to do chains and sprockets. You know, you're looking at a serious amount of money for a garage to be doing that, plus parts. You don't want to be spending that sort of money. You know, you're looking at £50 an hour, £40 an hour minimum, £30 if you're lucky, for a garage to be doing a service on you So, you know, 5 hours, you're looking at a fair few £100, and not including the parts. So, if you can do it yourself, it's a good afternoon spent, and you've got the time in it, the knowledge going behind it. If you've done it once, you can be able to do it again, no problem, and probably quicker the next time. And you've got the satisfaction that it's done correctly. There's no corners cut because you were doing it. You know, if you can do it successfully and make sure everything's buttoned up and torqued up, you've got a manual, then do it, you know. There's no point in letting someone else do it. You know, my brother works behind the motorcycle place, and what he sees people do to motorbikes that are not theirs makes your heart bleed. He said he'd never take his bike there. So it's, you know, it's worth it in the long run to try and get some knowledge base. To be honest, it's anything. If you got a car, a bit of knowledge on the car is going to pay for itself. Being able to do a service yourself. I normally end up getting my services done when I get my MOT done, and that's purely because they've got the damn thing up in the air anyway. They might as well pop the sump plug out and change the oil. It's not going to be as much of an hourly based rate then I'm going to get billed, because they've got it up in the air anyway, because they're kicking tyres and prodding suspension and stuff like that. They might as well whack it up in the air, prod the tyres, take the sump plug off, and as they're doing the rest of it, it's draining out. It's just a matter of whacking the sump plug back in, lowering it down, do a few bits and bobs, put some oil in it, and you're done. You know, so generally I only get charged for the oil normally. So get any form of knowledge base is going to help you. You know, a garage doing a service, I don't know, 120, 130 quid, one oil change, spark plugs, if it is a petrol, or oil change, filters, minimum. You can do that yourself for 60 quid. You know, they're probably getting the parts cheap themselves, garages, which they generally do, and then they charge you for the parts, but then they add VAT to the parts, then they charge you for the labour and VAT on the labour, then they add it all together and then charge VAT on the entire total. You know, you're paying shitloads of money, unless you know the mechanic and he's a good mate and you've been going there for years and trust him. Don't get me wrong, they're going to do a good job, and if any complications come across, they can fix them. So if they are doing a oil change and they snap the stump plug off or something, they can fix it. If they are doing a service and they snap one of the spark plugs, they can fix it. So it does all bode to go well that place, and it's a guarantee, and plus you're not getting your hands dirty. If you're a busy person, you're not taking up valuable time, because you haven't got, because you're busy, you know. If you've got kids or something like that around all the time, you never get a chance to yourself, let alone time to do a service on a bike or a car. Fine, whip it down a garage, pick it out later on, thank you very much. But you're saving so much money with doing it yourself. So anyone that's got any vehicle from a 125 up to a 1,000, and from a Mini up to a Jag, it's always worth getting some knowledge basement on what you can and can't do, because it's going to save you a fortune in the long run. See, bloody, he ain't that way, dears, and I could have gone that way, can I? But let's go this way. I'm not in any rush. I think I'm still recording, which is a shocker. How many miles have I done? 39 miles. Not bad, not bad. Still ain't back yet. I think they still want to take this straight, so I can probably go through, cut through, down to Link Road maybe. I don't know, yeah, maybe. But they're pissed. That's not too bad actually. Well, I could get to the motorway because I should be coming up towards the motorway somewhere. I can't remember now because the A46 we're in Bristol. No, I'm going back Church Way, too straight on down. Do bang to Bath. This is the motorway one, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Is the motorway that I normally come on it? I do believe it is. So we're at the Bath motorway on the M4, Bath and Stroud Junction. I can go down the motorway, or you're a bit of a knob, ain't you? And you are even too. Can I get through there? Yes I can, thank you very much. I normally go to the motorway because I think sod that.
Battery level is low.
So if I disappear, I am terribly sorry. Battery is low for a change. Now this is a pain in the ass one because we've got people filtering in, so I've got to be on the lookout for any muppets trying to then filter in when I'm coming through. So I do disappear, like I said, see you all later. It will just cut off for no bloody reason. And it says battery low. Normally it says battery low. Can't remember if it says battery low, camera stopped, or battery low, something else. I can't remember now. But when it disappears, I will speak to you later. And like I said, if I do post this, feel free to comment and subscribe. And even ask me if you want me to talk about anything in particular next time I'm out and about. I can definitely talk about all my opinions on whatever you want me to discuss. don't know what's up Hinton, and I should check at some point. I'm pretty sure it's the road I need to be on and that I can be on to get back to Bristol, but I can go this way too. I haven't been this way in a couple of weeks at least, because this is the way I go to work. It's going to be well above the 50 or 60 mark on mileage, so someone let a people bloody caravan pull out. Ugh. And go in the opposite direction to that caravan.